All right, it is July 2nd, and we're about halfway through, but we have a new shrine for today. So we're still working through the 7th anniversary event, so new shrines every day, and we've got a couple unique perks for you here. So, survivor wise, we've got two from Behavior original IP. So, these are ones that you could use your iridescent shards to unlock the character, and then blood points to unlock the perks. And typically, if that survivor has more than one, so two or three good perks, we usually recommend going that route. Otherwise, if there's only one good perk, you're really not a fan of their aesthetic, you don't want to play them, then grab that one perk with your iridescent shard. So what we have here is one of the original characters, Claudette, and we have empathy. And what empathy does, it unlocks the potential of one's aura reading ability, and dying or injured allies' auras are revealed to you when within 128 meters. So this is great if you're trying to go for saves, flashlight saves, if you're going for sabos, things like that. You know when people are injured, you know where they're at, you can run, try to help out. So pairs up very nicely with those kind of perks. Also, it's just good aura reading to kind of know where the chase is going down, right? You're sitting on gens, you want to know where the killer's coming your way. You can kind of tell with the newish HUD that if the entity claws are kind of chasing that survivor and you see them injured and kind of running across the map, you kind of have a good idea of where the killer is. So it's very valuable aura reading, and it can be used in a bunch of different builds if you're trying to be altruistic, go for saves, help out your teammate. Also, one thing I left out is metal demand builds, right? You're trying to take hits. Empathy can be great for that, knowing when to go over and take those protection hits. So we'll show a couple builds at the end, but we're going to grab our pen here and use our little rating scale. And basically, I can't say it's meta. You're not going to see a ton of it, but I think it's one of those more build around kind of second option or reading perks. So, good perk, not trash, not meme. It's useful. You just kind of got to plan for it a little bit, but you can just throw it into a build as well and kind of let it stand on its own as well. So, kind of does both those things for you there. We'll pop up the pen a little later. We just want to be able to show and read the next perk here, which is a boon. So you have to bless a totem. It's a Jonah Vasquez perk, and it's Boon Exponential. And basically, what Boon Exponential does, it's the unbreakable. It's the pick yourself up off the ground boon. You got to be within 24 meters of it, and then you can recover faster. So you can really take advantage of this with a Swift and trying to make yourself basically unsluggable. Also, if you're running some of the other boons, it may make sense just to plug this in for an added effect. So it can be useful in all boon builds, and it can be useful in more specific builds when you're trying to prevent the killer from being able to slug you. Maybe you're stabbing with some hooks, ending up in some areas where they just can't get you to hook, so they leave you, and then you get yourself up and go about your business. So you can do some fun things here with this perk. Um, I will say kind of about both of these. I probably would go Eerie shards to unlock the character with Jonah, with Claudette, she's already unlocked, and then spend blood points. They have a couple unique perks each that you may want to mess around with. So Claudette less so, but Jonah definitely has quite a few. So it might be in your best interest to use blood points. But we'll give this one a rating as well. This one's pretty similar, right? It's not real meme, it's not trash. It's kind of one of those where you gotta build around it more. And that may be in a unhookable build or in a boon build. So can be very good, but it's got to be good in the right situation there. So those are kind of our survivor perks. Again, we like both of these perks. We would recommend adding these to your pool in the future, but we may not recommend buying them from the shrine, though they are discounted. So if you don't want any of the other perks from the characters, maybe you do pick them up. Now, with our killer perks, we have two kind of unique ones here. We've got Hex Third Seal, which is a hag perk, and then we've got Infectious Fright, which is a plague perk. So, same kind of situation. We have one that is typically with the hag, it is a DLC, but it's free for consoles. Uh, so, it's definitely one that a lot of people have access to. But both of these, at the very least, can be purchased with iridescent shards, these chapters, and then you can unlock these perks. So, Third Seal, what does it do? Basically, it's a hex, so it can be cleansed, but hitting a survivor with basic attack or special attack while the hex is active applies blindness. This effect applies the last 4 survivors hit, so you can get it on everyone. But really, what people use this for is for slugging builds, right? And if they're on comms, if they're in a Swift, it doesn't work as well. But it can really be nasty, especially on killers that can damage very quickly, like the Legion. So this is one of those ones where you're feeling a little evil, you can have a lot of fun with it. But I really do think it's more of a meme perk. Legion's the one we're going to put here. Uh, as the main culprit, but you can use it on other things as well. It kind of does fall apart if they're on comms, but you can have a lot of fun with that. And then Infectious Fright, we'll take a look at. Infectious Fright is, again, like we said, a plague perk. Any survivor that is within your terror radius while another survivor is put in the dying state will scream and reveal their location for 6 seconds. So this is awesome if you're willing to slug and you have a killer that can down quickly, right? So one-shot killers, your Bobas, your Billies, there's a number of other ones with add-ons, Pinky Finger Clown, Eerie Hatchets, but those you have to reload with now. But Huntress in general, right? She can down quickly. So any killers that can down instantly or quickly, they can really pile on the pressure with Infectious and really go to town. Also combos up with some other new perks. Uh, that perk that just came out with the Singularity that basically puts hindered on everybody, like 10% hindered. You can really combo that up with this. So Infectious is good. We'll show some builds. We like it on Myers is one that we're leaving out, and Insta Down Killer as well. So we like it on Bubba Myers. Lots of these Insta Down or Quick to Down killers. It just is it better than other options? It's tough to say, but definitely I think there are some best builds out there that utilize this perk. So what we're going to say is we're going to kind of call this one meta or just off meta. So solid perks. We like all of these. Um, this one, if you're a Legion main, definitely pick up. This one, I think, if you don't plan on playing Plague and you don't want Corrupt Intervention or Dark Devotion, maybe you grab this, but you probably want this and Corrupt. So I think I would say BPs and use Eerie Shards or chapters on all of these. But you have a lot of solid perks. You got kind of a lot of the second tier perks, and then one that can be a fun kind of meme, but also can be very good on Legion. So good perks. We like these perks, but may not be the shrine to spend a bunch of Eerie Shards on unless you're just absolutely drowning in them. Then do what you want. But your most efficient use may be use the Eerie Shards on chapters and use BPs to unlock these perks. So we're about 7 minutes in here. We're going to keep it kind of short and sweet, but we'll hop over some builds, kind of show where Infectious Fright kind of thrives, and then we'll talk a little bit about MP3 builds, and then we'll get out of here. So if we hop over to Killer, one that kind of jumps out to us is Myers, and kind of a classic Myers build, something along these lines. Right, we like Bamboozle to help and chase. We got Corrupt just to slow down and let us stalk at the beginning. Jolt for slowdown, and then Infectious to just string along with duration add-ons to get as many people down with our tier 3 as we possibly can. Just a nice solid build. You can run something similar. You can run Infectious with certain add-ons with Bubba, and it's great. Your strong killers like your Blights and your Nurses can take advantage of it as well, even with getting double hits. Huntress is one of those as well that can get people down real quick. Take advantage of Infectious. I've seen it used well on Executioner as well. And I can even say I do like it as kind of a tech perk more so than like Lightborn or maybe Franklin's against a handful of flashlights, right? Maybe there's 1 or 2 flashlights there. You're a little worried about them. Don't want that game-changing save. Infectious lets you know if anybody's close or whether you can just pick up and slam them on a hook. So it's got some utility there as well. And then we're going to hop over to our Survivor side and see if we have any builds up. If not, we'll throw one up to kind of show. We probably do on somebody like Ash, maybe. So in a build like this, right, we've got Dead Hard, we've got Breakout, we got Saboteur, we got Metal Man. You could definitely throw Empathy in here as another perk there, especially since you have some extra speed with Breakout as well. You definitely throw Empathy in there, and now you kind of know when people are injured, so you come take those hits, get those sabos, maybe help them wiggle off. You can absolutely utilize it there. You could throw something like a flashlight on there, and now you can go for just the absolute bully trifecta there. It can work with flashbangs and other things as well. And you can just use it as quality order reading as well, right? We can throw it on. Let's see what kind of build do we have here. We have some other order reading. So we have a build here with like Bond. Empathy could just go in that spot as well. Bond's useful, but the range is kind of small. Empathy might be more useful for you, right? You know where the killer is, you know who they're chasing, you know where they're at, and when it's time to go help, know when it's time to crank out those gens. So very solid perk and one that I'd recommend considering. And then Boon Exponential, if you want that unbreakable effect and you're running some other boons anyway, or you're running a build where you're trying to make sure nobody can get hooked, then Exponential really pays off. But if you just kind of run solo by yourself, not a Swift, maybe you just want Unbreakable instead. So we'll hop back over to the store, pop up our thoughts one last time, and take them for what they're worth. But these are kind of our thoughts on all these perks. Third Seal, kind of more of a meme Legion perk. We think that Infectious is pretty solid, maybe just off meta, can use it on a lot of killers. And then Empathy and Exponential and Exponential are both good. But kind of with all of these, you might want to just unlock the chapters and use your BPs. So we're going to keep this as short as possible. I'm Smig. I'm signing off, but hopefully we see you in the comments, on stream, or in the fog sometime. Take care.